It's President Trump versus the Democrats in a new battle over immigration. As the president is set to temporarily suspend immigration, the Democrats are in a total meltdown. Nancy Pelosi's let them eat cake moment lives on in a new campaign commercial, and states across the country prepare to reopen for business. All that and more. I'm Bobby Eberle. This is a 13-minute news hour.
God bless the United States of America.
All right, friends, welcome to the show. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're having a great week. We're going to start with President Trump because the battle's on. This is the battle. This is President Trump versus the Democrats over immigration. And this is just a great move, and it is a great time because President Trump's announcement addresses not only the coronavirus fallout, but the need to get the immigration house in order, both legal and illegal, and look out for American jobs. That's exactly what the president is doing. The other night, the president tweeted this. He said, "In light of the attack from the invisible enemy, as well as the need to protect jobs of our great American citizens, I will be signing an executive order to temporarily suspend immigration into the United States." I just love this. I absolutely love it. And as I've told friends before, if I were president, if I were elected and I came in and I saw the mess that the immigration system was, both legal and illegal, I wouldn't just slowly try and work with the Democrats and hope they might throw a few breadcrumbs my way while I did things as much as I could on my own. No, I'd put a halt to it. You don't slowly bail out a boat while it's still sinking. You fix the leak. And this is what we need to do. Put a halt to immigration, fix the system, get it working, both legal and shut down on illegal immigration, then get the system flowing again. That's what we should do. Here's more from the Washington Times. White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany said Tuesday that President Trump is committed to protecting the health and economic well-being of American citizens as we face unprecedented times, as the president prepares to temporarily ban immigration to the U.S. As President Trump has said, decades of record immigration have produced lower wages and higher unemployment for our citizens, especially for African American and Latino workers, Ms. McEnany said. At a time when Americans are looking to get back to work, action is necessary. So what do you think? You think this is a good move? I would love to know what you think about this move, temporarily suspending immigration now, whether it's needed, whether it's not, whether you love the idea. Let me know in the comments. Now, President Trump's national security advisor, Robert O'Brien, he made some comments yesterday. Check out this report.
Those bans save thousands or tens of thousands of American lives. And so the president is not going to take political decisions here, but he's going to look at how he can protect Americans both economically and protect their health. And so this is a temporary issue, just like the prior bans were temporary, and we're doing it to keep the American people safe.
All right, there's no doubt getting those travel bans in place helped the situation, and it put us in a much better situation than a place like Italy that had routes going from Milan to Wuhan on and on and on and didn't even stop it. And look at the situation they face for the country that size. Here's more from O'Brien.
We need to bring the economy back, and so we'll monitor all factors as we make decisions on travel restrictions and immigration restrictions and that sort of thing. Look, no one likes it. The president didn't want to put travel restrictions in place. He didn't want to put immigration restrictions in place, but we have to because of this terrible virus that's been unleashed from foreign shores and was not the responsibility of the United States.
So, of course, when President Trump did his coronavirus briefing yesterday from the White House, he was asked about this immigration ban, this temporary suspension of immigration. He was asked over and over about it. And of course, some of the questions were very slanted, trying to gig the president, trying to come up with a talking point. Here's one of the responses from President Trump.
When you look at it right now, the last thing we want to do is take American workers' jobs. It's one thing when we were essentially, they used to call it full employment. And it's another thing right now. Right now, we have people that have lost their jobs, and we hope they're going to come back and come back fast, and then we can have an even deeper discussion. But right now, we have to have jobs for Americans.
So we have to save American jobs. That makes sense to me. That seems like a reasonable approach. This is something that needs to be done so we can focus on getting Americans back to work, especially over the last 4 weeks since 22 million Americans filed unemployment claims. So how do you think the Democrats are reacting to all this? I would characterize it as total meltdown. That's what's going on. Check out this tweet from Ilhan Omar, who's tweeted, Trump will ban immigration but allow southern states to loosen restrictions. This has nothing to do with our safety and everything to do with his blatant xenophobia. Pathetic. Well, what's pathetic is that tweet right there, because the Democrats have no argument. They never do. All they try and do is scream. If that doesn't work, they scream louder, hoping the opponent goes away. And if the opponent doesn't, if the opponent is brave enough to stay in there, that person will be branded as a racist or a bigot, homophobic, xenophobic. That's what they do. Next, there's a tweet from Stacey Abrams, the failed gubernatorial candidate from Georgia, the one who said she'd love to be Joe Biden's vice presidential running mate because she's a good loser. That person, she tweeted this. Once again, rather than rise to the moment, Trump uses shameful anti-immigrant rhetoric as he faces re-election. Sadly for America, he has failed on leadership, testing, and competence. Xenophobia will not undo his failures, and it will not save American lives. So I guess everybody received the xenophobia memo in the Democrats and on the left, because they're all using it. They're all talking about it. Now we have House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jerry Nadler. Remember him from impeachment? He tweeted this. President Trump now seeks to distract us from his fumbled COVID-19 response by trying to put the blame on immigrants. The truth is, many immigrants are on our front lines protecting us as doctors, nurses, health aides, farm workers, and restaurant workers. I never understand tweets like that or statements like that from the left. As soon as an argument goes on, they talk about, well, immigrants are helping us here and here and here. Well, you know what? So are American citizens. So are people who have been generations of Americans who came over as immigrants in the 1800s. I guess the Democrats still label them as immigrants, not the generations and generations of Americans who have come since. The argument makes no sense. Then Kamala Harris, she threw in this tweet. She said, Trump failed to take the crisis seriously from day one. Oh, I guess like Nancy Pelosi too. His abandonment of his role as president has cost lives, and now he's shamelessly politicizing this pandemic to double down on his anti-immigrant agenda. Enough, Mr. President. The American people are fed up. So, Harris says the American people are fed up. But are they? I mean, really? A new Scott Rasmussen poll that just came out the other day asked this question. And it shows that across the board, I'm talking Republicans, Democrats, Independents, they favor this move. And here's a report from the Washington Times. 70% of registered voters believe the federal government should place a temporary ban on allowing people from any other country to enter the United States, reported a Scott Rasmussen national survey conducted late last week. The total includes 34% who believe that even Americans living abroad should have to wait until the pandemic is over before returning, the poll analysis said. The temporary ban is supported by 82% Republicans, 66% of independents, and 64% of Democrats, as well as 79% of conservatives, 71% of independents, and 58% of liberals. A majority of those who are not fans of the president also agree. Wow, that doesn't seem to follow the xenophobic talking point that Ilhan Omar and the rest of these people are saying. So what do you think? Do you agree with the people in this poll? Do you agree that President Trump is doing the right thing? Let me know in the comments, and we are going to move on to Nancy Pelosi, because Nancy Pelosi is just getting hammered this week, and I don't mean by drinking vodka. She is getting hammered for her tour that she decided to give. While Americans are suffering, she decided to go on the Late Late Show and give a tour of her $24,000 freezer stocked with luxury ice cream. She did that, and the fallout has been awesome. Remember this clip?
Speaker Pelosi, what have you found? What are you going to share with us from your home?
Chocolate.
Really?
Chocolate candy.
Oh, wow.
And this is something you can get through the mail.
I mean, seriously, does she realize that people are out of work? And then she shows us the ice cream.
This is the episode of Cribs I never knew I needed. Oh, my. Wow.
Other people in our family go for some other flavors, but chocolate, and then we have some other chocolate here.
Well, it just shows how out of touch she is and this gaffe, this major political gaffe, I just don't understand where she got her political training, especially over the last year. Her skills have gone way downhill. Brad Parscale, the campaign manager for President Trump's 2020 campaign, he jumped all over this. His team jumped all over this. He tweeted this. He says, Americans are losing their jobs since the virus rocked the economy. Nancy Pelosi blocks funding for people to keep getting paychecks, but she's got a $24,000 fridge full of ice cream. So she's cool. Let them eat ice cream. Nancy Antoinette. So that tweet was perfect. And then he followed it up with the campaign ad that's included there. And I just want to play it for you. Here's the start.
We turn now to that $350 billion fund to help small businesses and its workers get through the shutdown.
It will be up to Congress to restock it.
But Democrats blocking that move this morning.
They asked for $250 billion in 48 hours. I said, well, I don't think so. They objected, and I congratulate the Senate Democrats.
So then the ad overlays clips that I showed you from her ice cream tour with people out of work. Just the comparison was amazing. And here's how the ad ends.
22 million people out of
This
work.
specific program is about stopping job losses today.
This is hurting people bad.
Other people in our family look for some other flavors, but
Right now, it's survival move. You don't know where that next something else is going to come from.
I don't know what I would have done if ice cream were not invented. I just wonder.
All right, that was just awesome. That is a great political ad. Meghan McCain over at The View described the ad as a political kill shot. And here's what she said. On Tuesday, McCain added, it's not the ice cream that's in her fridge. It's the fact that she's standing behind giant refrigerators, multiple ones that cost $24,000 each. She also responded to View co-host Joy Behar, who had suggested Republicans should look at President Trump's refrigerator given how wealthy he was. You're right, Joy. Politicians are wealthy. Trump is wealthy. But I think in this specific moment, optics are narratives. I don't make the rules of politics. This is just how it works, McCain said. So it's good stuff from the president. And again, I'm not even talking about great political skill or craftiness or anything like that to put this ad together, to put some of those tweets out. I'm talking about political ineptness on the part of Nancy Pelosi and her team to think this was a good idea, to say, hey, in this time of crisis, I'm going to show just how out of touch I was, how out of touch I am, and how out of touch I'll probably continue to be. It just reinforces a narrative that's been going on for a year that shows how out of touch she is. So let me know what you think in the comments. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Is she totally gone, or will she rebound from this? I just don't know. So next, I want to talk about states reopening. But before we get into that, folks, if you're enjoying the show, please subscribe and don't forget to hit that bell when you do, because we're on our way. We're making a push. You guys can help. It's all about you. 100K by Election Day. 100,000 subscribers by Election Day. I know we can do it. So please subscribe. Let's get on with states reopening. All right. The policies have been in place. The guidelines have been put out there. Reopening America again. This is what we're working on. And states are starting to open up. And they're being driven by these guidelines and by the fact that they see that Americans have had enough. It's time to get things going. We've reached our peak. We're coming down on the number of cases, and it's time to get things reopened. Business Insider estimates that 95% of the American public have been under lockdown in some form or fashion, some varying degree, and it's time to get things open. So they did a great report on how some of the states are opening, and we're not talking about May 1st. We're talking about things that are starting to happen this week, right now. Here's a report from Business Insider. South Carolina Governor Harry McMaster was one of the latest to issue a statewide stay-at-home order from all the states who have issued such orders, doing so on April 7th. On Monday, he said that department stores and some other businesses previously deemed non-essential would be allowed to reopen if they abided by social distancing guidelines. That includes clothing stores, furniture stores, and florist shops, reported Josiah Bates for Time. Public beaches will also open back up Tuesday, depending on local jurisdiction guidance. So Georgia is also one of those states that's really moving forward because of their record, because of the gating criteria that they've met, this 14-day low symptoms, low cases of coronavirus, hospitals being able to be prepared, testing being available. Georgia's ready to move forward, and here's that report. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp will allow businesses to begin reopening in phases over the weekend, he said during a Monday news conference. Gyms, hair salons, barbershops, fitness centers, and massage therapy centers will be allowed to reopen Friday as long as they follow social distancing and regular sanitation, reported Business Insider's Jake LaHoot. Next Monday, restaurants, private social clubs, and movie theaters can also open, but bars, nightclubs, amusement parks, and other businesses will remain closed pending further advice from public health experts. Earlier, at President Trump's press conference, he was asked about the states reopening. After he issued these guidelines, he was asked about the states that are basically ready to go. There are a lot of states across the country that have met already this 14-day criteria to get things going into what he calls phase one of the reopening. And here's his comments.
Will they be able to go to phase one as early as, say, tomorrow if the governor decides?
You're talking about those states that are in great shape already?
Yes.
They will be able to go literally tomorrow, yes, because they've met all of the guidelines if you go back. You're going back 14 days. You're going back even a month. And they have the ones that I'm thinking about, the ones that I've already spoken to governors about. They've met those guidelines actually pretty long ago.
So what do you think? Is your state ready to open? Are you ready for it to open? Keep in mind that this is not these states, despite what the media will probably say, especially in the next coming week or two, it's not states just acting crazy. It's just not states just being pushed by the public. They're following guidelines. They want to do this safely. We need to reopen. We need to reopen safely. So is your state ready? How has your lockdown been? I'd really like to know that. So please let me know in the comments. But folks, that's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe. And when you do, please hit that bell so you'll be notified. And we'll see you next time. I'm Bobby Everly. This is a 13-minute news hour. Okay, friends, thanks so much for watching. And before you go, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you'll be notified. And here's a special video just for you so you can watch even more of the 13-minute news hour. And don't forget to check out GOPUSA.com for the best in conservative news and commentary. We'll see you next time.